Today, we are going to be talking about something that YouTube just recently announced and released on YouTube Music because everyone is using YouTube Music. I know for a fact if you are watching this, you definitely 100% are using YouTube Music over things like Apple Music and Spotify. I know it for a fact. And if you are one of those people, you're fucking weird. You're a fucking weirdo if you're using YouTube Music. Alright, fuck out of here. But YouTube Music released a new feature, I guess it's a feature, that allows you to actually see the monthly listeners behind some of the artists on there. Talking about every single artist, like some of your favorite rappers like Doechii, because I know everyone loves Doechii. Everyone's bumping Anxiety. Everyone loves that song. Everyone loves the Timeless remix featuring Doechii. Everyone likes that. And there's a lot of questions I have about this because the numbers I'm seeing on here about some of the monthly listeners some of these artists have, Doechii, questionable. Very questionable. And it's not even just her. It's a couple numbers that just make no sense. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know how the fuck they're gauging these numbers. I don't know. I don't know if it's doing what they Spotify usually does, with if it's like a unique listener within a month period of within that interval of listening to a new artist. Because usually that will gauge as one unique listener and it will be accounted for the monthly listeners. But guys, I just have a hard time believing someone like Bruno Mars has almost 1 billion monthly listeners on YouTube Music. How is that being gauged? He has over 800 million monthly listeners in a month. Guys, I genuinely don't think that's even possible. Like, I get it. Bruno Mars is a huge mega star. Like, I am not trying to discredit him. He's mega huge. I know he is. He's a global star. I know that. But 800 million, like, come on, guys. I'm putting it on screen. That number sounds fraudulent. I don't know how are they gauging these numbers because it makes no sense. And that is not the only example of why I think this shit makes no sense. Maybe there's bots going on because Bruno Mars, I just don't see them botting for him. But how is he having over 800 million monthly listeners? That makes no sense. But the one that really stood out to me was Doechii. Ultimately, she has over 300 million fucking listeners on YouTube Music. Guys, if you go on YouTube Music, it shows the streams on all your songs. Her biggest song, Anxiety, has less streams than her monthly listeners. Make that make sense. Please make that make sense. That doesn't make any sense. I'm going to list you every single artist she has more monthly listeners than. Drake, she has more than. Kendrick Lamar, she has more than. The Weeknd, she has more than. Taylor Swift, she has more than. Bad Bunny, a Latin global megastar, in my opinion, is the biggest artist in the world. She has more than. She has more than Rihanna. And she is like literally like a couple million behind Eminem. Guys, though she's been only popular and relevant for maybe at most 2 years. Maybe. But that's being generous. 2 years. And I'm supposed to believe she's the biggest rapper in the world? Yeah, fuck out of here. No. How does she have over 300 million monthly listeners on YouTube Music off the jump? Her most streamed song on YouTube Music doesn't even have that many streams. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. She has 300 monthly listeners. Guys, she should have songs over 1 billion streams. Like, a bunch of them. How is she having more than guys who are global names? Household names like The Weeknd, Eminem, Kanye. Like, these are global names and she has more than? I'm supposed to believe that? As if her discography and catalog is so deep? It's not. So that makes no sense. I don't know how YouTube Music is gauging these numbers because to me that's fucking bizarre. How is she having that many monthly listeners off the jump? She's like a rookie. She's in her rookie year. She had like one album that got a Grammy for it and it suddenly just, yeah, she has 300 million monthly. She has more than Taylor Swift. Like, the only artist I know that can sell 1 million units in its first week for her album. And she has more monthly listeners than her. Yeah, I just have a hard time believing that. And she has more monthly listeners than probably the hottest rapper in a long ass time, Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, just bullshit. Get that out of here. And here's another example of why these numbers make no sense to me. I'm going to bring up NBA Youngboy. I'm sure a lot of you know who NBA Youngboy is, right? He's not as big as he used to be, I'll say that. However, his fan base is cult-like. And I know his fans primarily listen to his music through YouTube. I know this because this guy has more total views than guys like Kendrick Lamar. Alright, it's true. You can check it. He has more total views than Kendrick Lamar. And it's pretty close to Drake. So that's saying a lot. right? But the guy only has 24 million monthly listeners on YouTube Music. He has less than Lil Tecca. I really do not know how are they gauging these numbers because they make no sense to me. They don't. They make no sense to me. How are they gauging these numbers? Because it just doesn't seem realistic. I think people saying that some of them are using bots or whatever. Doechii's using bots because that's the only way that would even make any sense. Because apparently she's bringing in 300 million unique users to listen to her music on there every month apparently, but I just have a hard time fucking believing that. But then YoungBoy only has 24 million, which primarily his audience listens to him through YouTube. Always. Literally always. Every time he drops a song, he's like #1 trending on music. And he only has 24 million monthly listeners? Fuck out of here. He has less than Lil Tecca. That makes no sense. I don't know how these numbers are adding up. I don't know how YouTube is gauging these numbers. It makes no sense to me. I'm hearing things that their monthly listeners are being derived from people using songs on YouTube Shorts and actual YouTube videos, and that's how they're also gauging it, which I guess, but I don't know how you properly gauge that because no one's going to a YouTube short willingly listening to an artist that they don't give a fuck about, right? If I don't care about Lil Tecca and I'm watching a YouTube short of a person using Lil Tecca's song behind the video, suddenly I'm part of the monthly listeners for that artist. I don't like that. It's like if TikTok made a monthly listener thing, and for whatever reason Kendrick Lamar has 1 billion monthly listeners. It's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Most of those people are not listening and willingly looking for Kendrick Lamar music. Why are we just gonna pad that onto his monthly listeners? I just think it's dumb. If that's the case of what YouTube is doing, I think that's really fucking stupid and inflates the numbers drastically. Because Doechii having 300 million monthly listeners in 1 month is bizarre. Not many people are listening to her. Let's keep it a buck, right? YouTube Music, it literally shows you her streams on that song, Anxiety. Doesn't even have more streams than she does in monthly listeners. Make that make sense. It makes no fucking sense, right? People are just not willingly listening to her, and if they listen to a YouTube short of the song behind or whatever, doesn't mean they should be accounted for in her monthly listeners. It inflates the numbers. It makes the artist seem way bigger than they really are. And if that's the case, I guess these numbers make sense, but in my opinion, this is really fucking stupid on a way to gauge relevance on YouTube Music, because who the fuck is listening to music on YouTube? Let's be honest. If you're listening to music on YouTube Music, you're a fucking weirdo and you need to go outside and touch some damn grass.